All right, so we gonna hit our AGM conclusion dialogue. So with the police, right? Where do y'all stand? Do y'all think it should be reformation? Do y'all think they should be abolished, or do y'all think it should be left as is?
Damn, that's cool. Reformation. I mean, I hear everybody saying abolish the police, but it's like, what the hell? Like, to me, that don't make no sense.
That's not realistic or logical.
It's not realistic. It's not logical. Like, we need. There has to be some type of like force to enforce the law. Like, it has to be there. That being said, complete reformation of the whole entire system is just completely necessary, from the hiring practices to the training, to the amount of training. Like, dudes, off the street, I don't even think you need a college. You don't need a college.
High school diploma, bro.
High school diploma, do it. Then we got people coming back from the military, becoming police officers, and those are two completely different mindsets.
Being cops. I mean,
like, you're going from
bit.
Like,
and they get in easier.
Exactly. And then it has to be like some type of relationship with the police and the community. Like, you can't have like some white dude from wherever coming into a black neighborhood.
Going to South Central.
Most white people don't even they don't know black people at all. They don't know what we look like when we're mad, what we look like when we're frustrated, when we're upset. They just see, oh, this nigga's not doing what I want them to do, and niggas are dangerous, right? So it's like, all that has to change. Like, all of it has to change. And there's examples of like complete police reformations and to some levels of success, but there has to be different consequences for killing unarmed people. It's so much, because like a police officer can change the course of your life in so many different, like, even without killing you, they could like arrest you, give you a ticket.
Just an experience.
Yeah, like everything.
A couple for sure.
Like, my 20s was entirely like made way more difficult than they should have been, because I got hella tickets from police officers that suspended my license for damn near like until I was like 26.
Right.
Shit was crazy.
Do I need to repeat the question?
No, I got it. I feel like reformation is definitely needed. I feel like definitely piggybacking off of what Dorian was saying, as far as reformation needed, as far as the hiring process, the training that goes into it. People fresh out of the military should definitely have at least 3 psyche evals before they try to be a cop, considering PTSD is real.
Right.
PTSD, most cop situations will come with triggers for any situation, or traumatic or not, let alone for Army individual or vets, I should say, who deal with PTSD. As far as the training and all that, I don't know when they started being like, all right, so forget the whole shoot to wound thing. Right. Just shoot to kill, and make sure you shoot to kill and they're dead for sure. Overkill. Make sure. Like, I don't know when that came up. I'm thinking around 2014 they started to become more and more lenient, since Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin and all that. Not Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown and all that. Eric Gardner. Moving forward, it like just continued to become more and more desensitized. Now police brutality videos or snuff films, I've said that last time, but ultimately it's like, it comes down to stop trying to kill everybody. Like, wound, detain,
or just stop
diffuse the situation.
Viewing the color of our skin as a threat, really.
Absolutely. Really, and then I also feel like it has to do with, once again, mental health. Don't go into a situation, if a black person is dealing with some mental issues, with or without a weapon, they need to do a lot more sensitivity training when it comes to diffusing situations, period. They need to learn how to diffuse a situation.
Like, if you that fearful, that quick, and
that trigger sensitive and all that, it's like
be an excuse for a police officer.
But ultimately, y'all need to learn how to diffuse a situation. I feel like every cop should have that type of training, because cops aren't just called for or not always calls for violence. If somebody's committing suicide, a cop can be called. They need to learn how to diffuse that situation so they don't jump off a bridge. That comes up. They need to be more heavy on that, considering mental health has been more prominent these days and things of the nature. Right. So I feel like that's amongst the different things, along with holding responsibility. Cops need to start getting indicted for the things that they're doing, punished. Rightfully, accountability needs to be had. That goes All of that goes into reformation. So abolishment, like we said before, not logical, not realistic. Unless we're not asking for anarchy, we don't want socialism. So calm down. Let's just regulate some things, change things to be how they need to be, more ethical, and then maybe we can get somewhere.
Well, let me play devil's advocate though. Like all of the stuff you guys mentioned is pretty much in place right now, but yet here we are.
But it's not exercised.
So
it's not enforced.
It's not enforced, exactly.
That's the problem. Exactly. I feel like it comes with enforcement. I feel like all of this comes from a source. And even when it comes to locking people up or being insensitive and cops ruining lives over nothing, that still comes down to not only laws, but court systems, judges. It's so much bigger than the police. And I wish it was just the police. But also profiling.
That's just what I think we're zoning in on at the moment. It's definitely a much broader.
But it branches out because it comes down to what police chiefs are hired. Police chiefs don't hire other police chiefs. It's higher ups that are doing that. The higher ups that are seeing who's fit, who's regulating things, who's enforcing things, who's going by the book. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, people are great at putting on fronts. You can fake it till you make it until you in it, and then you in it and you flip the switch, and then you really get to do your ulterior motive. That comes up too. Absolutely.
But I mean, it's kind of like there's this joke that Chris Rock has said in his last stand-up where he was addressing the people who say oh it's just like a few bad apples, and he was like, again, some jobs or some areas you can't have no damn bad apples. Like everybody has to be good.
Right.
And the example he gave was pilots. You ain't gonna hear no airline tell you when you coming on So we had a couple. We had a couple that crashed a couple planes last year, but for the most part, they all good. You gonna turn the hell around.
And it's the consequences.
And the screening for pilots, people don't understand. That's a long process. It's so much it's so much research they do into these people before allowing them to get to that level. And I know there's probably more of a necessity for police, and they're probably hurting right now as far as having people, but they need to I think they need to figure something out as far as having more of a screening than just, I got my diploma, I passed these tests. From what I heard, I know the tests aren't the easiest, but it should be a lot more than just that, you know what I'm saying, as far as, being a part of that. And I think that's, because you can't change how somebody feels. If you have racist cops, you have racist cops, and you're going to have them. You have them in every field, but, what you can do is implement certain consequences and accountability to where, if you try to utilize this at work in any type of way, you're out of here. You know what I mean? And I think they should be treated, just as much, if not more, severe than regular civilians.
Absolutely. Because they're supposed to uphold the law. They're supposed to protect, and they over here threatening lives and killing people. Y'all more menaces than civilians in gangs. Let's be real. Y'all out here stepping on necks and stuff for no good damn reason. Over trying to sell CDs and choking people out, or over not being in the right place at the right time, over openly not listening to the person. They're trying to show you they information, and you thinking that they pulling out something, which is just an excuse. Let's not even talk about planting evidence. But we're not even gonna go there. Corrupt as fuck. I feel like it's I can't say curriculum because I don't think that's the proper word for the police academy, but the police academy equivalent of the curriculum needs to be changed. Period.
Yeah,
the standards need to be changed. I'm really
big on getting more involved and building that rapport with the community. Not even on some I'm a police officer, but I'm a person.
Yeah, let's talk about it as people.
To y'all as people, because that's I feel like that's.
There's too much hierarchy.
Racism aside, I feel like another issue is I'm an authority figure over you, so you not doing what I want you to do is a problem, and I'm going to use.
Even though they literally just like you, they just have a badge.
Exactly.
They're no different from you.
So I don't know.
That badge is off.
And I think another thing that needs to be addressed, because I've had quite a few black people and even some non-black people who have been a part of the force in some kind of way, who have said that, like, you know, they try to, you know, kind of be a part of the solution. Like, you know, like a lot of the OGs tell us, like, you know, we got to be more, you know, police officers, more judges. But they've said that, like, they literally can't. Like, it sounds good, but when you're actually in it and you understand the dynamic of, like, you being looked at a certain way, or even though on paper everything is a certain way, but actually being in it, it was like, I've had friends that told me, like, it was literally just too much. Like, he couldn't even, like, sleep with himself at night because he like, you're supposed to turn your head when you see wrong being done. When, again, it's implemented that it should be the opposite. So, you know, I feel like that's another thing that needs to be addressed, like the uncomfortability that people are who really, you know, have integrity when it comes to the people that are trying to be a part of the force. And those are like the outliers when it, you know, when it comes to that.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the police whole institution is corrupt from the bottom to the top pretty much, and everybody knows it. That's why we always hear like "fuck the police," but never hear like "fuck the firefighters" or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, well, yeah, we'll put a button on it there, man. Great dialogue with y'all once again, man. Appreciate y'all. My boy Dre behind the camera, man. I forgot to you know, mention him at the top of the show, man. But you know, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's take this to the furthest extent, man. And peace. See y'all later.
Peace.